We're asked here to find the gradient and the y-intercept of a given line and then to sketch the line. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the gradient and the y-intercept. Now we know that the standard form for a straight line is y equals mx plus c. And when we use this format, the m represents the gradient and the c talks about the y-intercept. So if I write this line down here and I say we're looking at y equals 3x minus 4, then that means that my m is the gradient, which would be 3, and my y-intercept is the negative 4. So therefore my answer to question A is that my gradient equals 3 and my y-intercept equals negative 4. Don't forget the negative there. So now if I need to sketch that, you can see I've got my beautifully ruled axes and I'm going to label them y and x, which you should always do. Then what we can do is we can include my y-intercept on there. So I'm going to do a little cross here at the coordinates of 0 and negative 4 that shows my y-intercept. So that's the y-intercept taken into account. The next thing I'm going to think about is the gradient. Now, if gradient, as we know, equals rise over run, and I represent 3 in a fraction, I could say, well, if I was going to represent it, I could say 3 equals 3 over 1. So therefore, that could be my rise, and that could be my run. So I can say from here, if I have a run of 1, so I'm going to go across by 1, and then a rise of 3, so I'm going to go up by 3 units. Then I have a new point here that will also be on the line, because I've got a run of 1, a rise of 3, and I've shown my gradient of 3. So my new point here will be 1 more than this, so it's going to be at the point 1, and a rise of 3 minus 4 rising by 3 would give me negative 1. So here's my second point at 1 and negative 1. Then of course I'm going to get my ruler out because I'm always very, very careful with my ruler, and I'm going to make sure that I carefully rule between my lines. So here it is, my ruler, perfectly straight line, and there is my line, and if I really want to flirt with the examiner, I'll let them know that that's y equals 3x minus 4. And that's how I sketch a straight line when I'm given its equation.